Hey everyone, good evening, guys. Good evening to all. Hi, guys. I'm audible and visible to you all. Can you give me a thumbs up, please? Yes, let's go, Shehzad. Hello, technical. Guys, I'm audible to you all. Can you please give me a thumbs up in the chat? Hello. Yes, yes. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you for a thumbs up. My name is Anam Khan. I'm from LetsUpgrade, and I welcome you all to the Figma Bootcamp. It is a 3-day bootcamp, and each day it will be 1.5 hour session. The timing will be 6:30 to 8. So please make sure that you join for day 2 and day 3 as well. Okay, Purnima, I will let you know how to mark your attendance. I can see there are a lot of queries in the chat regarding the attendance and certificate. I will clear it all and let you know the process of marking your attendance as well. So please have some patience, wait for some time. Let's first connect with each other, know each other more, then we'll start with the session also. Okay, thank you, Bala. सोचा था कोई सीनियर आएगा, सीनियर ही आएगा, ट्रेनर ही पढ़ाएगी. द ट्रेनर इज फॉर दिस बूट कैम्प इज Twinkle ma'am. I'm here just for to let you all know the attendance procedure. Okay, so do not worry कि कोई senior पढ़ा रहा है, बच्चा पढ़ा रहा है. You are here to learn learn the Figma. Okay. Certificate, I will let you know the certificate process. So guys, okay, we'll move forward with the certificated attendance part only. So till then, let me know from where you people are joining. And this session will be in English. Majorly we'll use English language, but we'll use the Hindi also. Like we'll explain you some part in Hindi also, some topics where you will don't understand. So do not worry about that thing. Okay, I will share my screen now. Yeah, so it's shared. You can you all can give me the confirmation the chat once, please. Gujarat, Chennai, Karnataka, Mumbai. Okay, Kerala, Delhi. No need of any prior knowledge. This is a since it is a boot camp, we will start from the very basic, and then we'll move to a little bit of advanced part, and also we'll create some mini project or creative something, poster something. Okay, my screen is shared, you all can see. Okay guys, now let's see, watch on the screen please. So guys, for the attendance thing, here in the description box you can see for registration, attendance, eloquence, everything. We have this one link. When you click on it, a new page will open where you need to first of all enroll for the program. If you're a new user or enrolling attending like haven't signed up on a let's upgrade website, so you can just enroll yourself. Yeah, okay. And click on this enroll now button and then reload the page. After reloading the page, you will get to see the mark attendance toggle. Okay. Mm, yeah. So yeah, see guys. So when you scroll down the page below the day one title, you can see mark attendance toggle. Click on it. Rating scale will open from 1 to 10. You need to rate the session according to your feedback, your experience, how much you would like to rate. And then here is the feedback option. If you have any feedback for us, be it positive, negative, or if you want any improvement from us, you can put it here and we will mark your attendance. Then click on it, and then coming up again you will see this progress bar. It has increased to 33% now, and it will be 100% by day 3. So you need to mark your attendance daily. Make sure that you mark it. You can mark your attendance anytime during this duration of the boot camp, so it's not necessary to mark it in the beginning itself. You can mark it anytime. Okay, so for the certificate thing guys, please note that on day 3 when the session will end, that is on Saturday after 8 p.m., you will be getting to see generate certification option right below this progress bar. But before downloading the certificate, you will need to pass the test. The test will contain 10 questions, and which you need to from that minimum 7 you have to put the correct answer, then only you will be able to unlock your certificate. So please make sure that certificate will be available on day 3 when the session will get end. Okay, so do not spam in the chat now for the certificate part. And if you have any queries, you can join our communities. We have this communities where you can also get regular updates, daily invites, session reminders, and you can connect with Let's Upgrade. You can connect with your friends there, make you can solve your bug, you can solve a query and everything. Okay, so please make sure that you join our communities. So this was the attendance procedure, nothing much. Just click on the one link, scroll, enroll for the program, scroll down the page and mark the day wise attendance. Okay, yes, it is a 3-day boot camp, 3-day session. Okay, yes, recording will be available on our channel, you can watch it anytime. Okay, so I think you all know the attendance procedure now. Okay, so moving ahead guys, here you can see all-in-one documentation. This link is also pinned in the chat. It will be helpful for you guys, these docs, because we have put all the session links here. You can find the session links, the attendance links and everything. This is the page where you can find the notes for Figma for each topic, which you can refer for your exams also. It will be helpful for you really. And you cannot download this document in a PDF format, hence you can since you can save this doc link somewhere. Okay, and if the trainer shares any of the document, any resources, any link, any PPT, we will upload all the things here in this one doc itself. So if you want to find any of your things, you can just come to this all in one doc. So make sure that you keep this doc handy every time. Okay, okay. Am I clear to you all? Please, can I get to know? We'll start with the session in next 2 minutes. Just give me 2 minutes of yours. I will let you know about our SAP, that is Student Ambassador Program. The link is there again in the description box. When you click on it, you can see our SAP program. This is a 1-month program, free program. By enrolling in it, you will be the if you get selected, you will be the ambassador for the Let's Upgrade for next 1 month. The next batch is starting from 1st of August. And please make sure that you join, you apply for this. By applying, you will be like, you can also put it on your resume, like you were the ambassador for this and this college and this things. And in this program you can also win these amazing prizes. So these are the milestones that you need to achieve. There are certain targets to unlock these milestones. And you can get to know more about it by, you can check out this page. And also guys, please make sure that you enroll for it, as there are many exclusive workshops we host, and designathon, hackathon, many more events, micro events we host there. So you can attend all those, and you can win prizes up to worth like 5,000, 7,000. Literally we give you with the products and the prizes there. Okay, so I hope you all will enroll for it. If you want to know more about Let's Student Ambassador, you can check out our social media handle, we post there as well. Or else you can check our website. Okay, so yeah, that was it from my side guys. Now I will call the trainer, that is Twinkle ma'am, and she will be your she will be guiding you for the next 3 days. Okay, so here she is. Hi ma'am, good evening.
Hi, Adam. Good evening.
How are you ma'am?
All good. How are you?
I'm also good, ma'am. So there are already 700 to 800 people have joined. We can start with the session. I will take a leave. So yeah, thank you guys. Thank you, ma'am. Bye bye.
So much. Bye. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Figma Bootcamp, and very excited to be here again. It's always fun interacting with you. I think at times I get to learn from you guys. So super excited to this. Can everybody kind of tell me what level of exposure you've had with Figma so far? Have you used it before? Have you not used it before? And if you have used it, then why? I mean, not why, but like, what kind of design did you make when you were working on Figma? So if you can kind of quickly walk me through this. Okay. Some people have used it, some have not. Some have used it a little bit. Okay. What else? Uh, I would also request everybody to stay professional and just focus on the learning and interacting. Okay, some of you have not used Figma in the past. Okay, no problem. We will just take a refresher course and just kind of work on all of this. Okay, some have worked on email design, some have worked on UI UX, which is great. Okay, some also want to learn a bit about AI. So, Figma is basically a designing tool for UI UX designers. We previously, I mean, when I started my career back in 2016, I was creating website designs on Photoshop. There was Adobe Illustrator, there was Adobe InDesign. I mean, these products of course are still there, and they are like, a lot more advanced. But I started using all these tools that were not meant for UI UX. Initially we had Sketch in the field of design, but it was not that popular. And of course, gradually they kind of developed on that software. It became kind of a common tool for designing. And then Adobe launched Adobe XD, and that was a game changer. And then we got Figma. Although Figma was, yes, Ayush, I have seen your query. Please don't spam. How to make a responsive design? Yes, we will get to that also. It will be great if nobody spams. I understand that some of the queries will be left behind, but you can always drop them as a comment at the end of this chat, this session, so that we can address them first thing in the next session. Figma is a little complicated. It does seem like it at first, but honestly, when you move away from Sketch or Adobe XD or Photoshop or any design tool, Figma has uh, kind of combined the tools or whatever feature that it offers. They have combined it in such a way that it is very easy to use once you get a hang of it. And what about Adobe Express? Yes, Adobe Express is kind of a shortcut tool for minor things like background removal or stitching two videos together. And yeah, but at the end, it's not purely a UI UX tool like Figma. Uh, what am I gonna teach you in the 3-day boot camp? Yes, that is a good question. So I have it written here. Firstly, we're just gonna take a quick walkthrough of what Figma is and why is it so popular. I mean, what is the appeal? Why is everybody so drawn to Figma? Why is every company expecting a designer or a person who is applying to be a designer? They would want to know about Figma. And what all features does it have. Of course, we'll take a walkthrough of that. We will understand what the layer panel is, what is happening on the left side, the right side, the top side. Now that the top side has moved to the in the latest update, it has moved at the bottom of the screen. Yes, we'll understand all of that. And apart from this, in today's session we will also understand how to begin designing the UI for an app. We can pick one of the simplest pages, maybe a login page, and we can kind of work on it parallelly. So I will be creating a structure over here, but I would definitely urge that this be an interactive session and not just that I'm just like giving you all this gyan and you guys are trying to absorb it. But trust me, in the field of design, the actual knowledge comes from a hands-on approach. When I am telling you something, it is a mandate that you go back home or wherever you are, you work on it yourself, you create your own set of designs. And yeah, and at the end of the session, if anybody wants me to review their work, please feel free to drop the Figma link in the chat as well. We can kind of go through it, get everybody's understanding, or just to brag about what you've done. So that is going to be our agenda for today. Now, after that, we will be in the second day tomorrow. We will be diving deep into how to work with layers, how to work with complex shapes, and how to create a basic prototype, which I feel that for the people who have used Figma before, they do feel that prototyping is easy to a certain level, but on click, the animation can go as crazy as it can create a movement, a sort of animation in which a single circle is bouncing around throughout the frame. So, I mean, that's pretty crazy. That is something in my mind I could only do on Photoshop or After Effects. But yes, Figma can let you do that. And of course, in terms of UI, we can just kind of create a whole experience that a user downloads the application and then they see the splash screen, which can be animated in Figma. We can let the user choose either the login button, the sign up button, and from there all the way to accessing the location, we can kind of create a whole journey. It's gonna feel exactly like it is when we use an application in real life. Now after that, we can kind of understand in tomorrow's session what are plugins used for those of you who haven't used plugins or don't know what this term means. Think of plugins as छोटे छोटे softwares which are integrated or working with Figma to provide you more accessibility, more features. For example, Figma does not have a library of icons, right? So we merge or we use a plugin of a product that has icons. So all you need to do is kind of add that plugin in Figma and you will have access to all the icons. You won't need to go to the site, download the icon, and then upload it on Figma. It occupies your system space, and of course you have to kind of like put all of those together. So that is not gonna be an issue. And of course the hardest part for me is to find the icons that match the same width, so that is always a headache. So yes, that will be our day 2. And in day 3, we will be working on a little bit of complex level. We will understand how to work collaboratively on Figma. I mean, multiple people can work on the same file at the same time. So that's quite crazy. Uh, do we also need to learn coding? So Figma has a paid feature in which they let you access the code. Whatever design you make, no matter how complex it is, Figma will convert it into code for you, and you just need to copy paste it. Lots of doubts regarding prototypes. Yes, we will get to that. And if we are already familiar, can we join directly on day 3? I mean, you can if you wish to, but it's just gonna be 1.5 hour each day. You might learn something new. So why not stick around? And not just from me, honestly, the people who attend these workshops, all of them they have something to add to this. Screen not visible. I'm not sharing anything yet. Why not use CSS? I mean, like CSS, yes, you can use it if you know how to code, but this is, I guess, primarily for the people who want to learn design. Please see my work. Please share the link. Can AI be a hassle for designers? Yes, we will get to this. Now, apart from this, if you have gone through the one link, you will see that responsive design is in our third day itinerary. So we will be doing working on that as well. And how to export designs, how to share designs. Yes, of course, we will be understanding that what every file format is used for. And apart from this, I think I saw somebody comment about this, that how they find it difficult to work with auto layouts and components. Yes, that is one of the trickier parts of Figma, how to create. For those of you who are not familiar with this, auto layout is basically a feature which helps you design efficiently. So for example, if okay, I'll just, sorry, I am jumping the gun. I will just tell you about it when we are actually starting designing. So yeah, I'll just hold off to explaining what auto layout is. Just like trust me on this, that once you do know that, you will be designing way faster than you used to. And apart from this, components are basically, let me give you an example. I am designing an application, okay, and in that application I have to use buttons. So buttons can be my solid fill button, it can be an outline button, it can be a ghost button with no background, no outline, just a text in the middle. So I will need to use the same button throughout my application on multiple pages. And if there are variations, so for example, we have one full width ka button, then we have some small buttons, then we have some tags, then we have some labels. So the size varies from my usage. Now it is going to be super difficult for me to understand or to remember what the size, what the height, width, and the margins from text to the corner of each button. So what I do is I create a component out of my primary button, my secondary button, my tag, and my label. So all of these four type of buttons have now been converted into a component. So wherever I copy paste this particular component, the properties are going to be the same. Okay, so you don't have to kind of like, uh, worry about whether the size is consistent throughout my design or not. And yeah, so again, super helpful. Now coming to about, like, the question of the hour: is AI going to replace my job? If you learn how to work parallelly with AI, it is going to get you a much better package than what you were initially hoping to get. So yeah, do not be threatened by AI. Instead, try to learn the tools that help you become a better designer. So, for example, if I am stuck somewhere, I am creating a website design and I can't seem to figure out how to create a unique version of three cards. So, there are multiple tools like Replit, I think Lovable is one of them, Polymet. So, these are tools in which I can just put my design, I can just upload my design, and I can just give it a prompt that help me understand or create a design that is interactive and visually appealing for this particular web page, and they will do the job for you. But it is not okay to rely only on AI. Of course, you have to be, you have to understand that you have to create a primary level of design which AI can enhance. Otherwise, every other design that you generate out of AI is going to look the same. So, uh, most of them low-key fail. I mean, AI tools with regards to UI UX are, most of them are still in beta phase. So it is going to take some time, but you have to kind of like, do a hit and trial method, that which tool works for you. For me, Polymet and Lovable are the best ones in the market. But of course, I might be missing out on a lot more. You can kind of do your own research and see what works for you. Can we design logos from Figma? Yes. When are we starting? Yes, we are starting pretty soon. Don't worry, but I think it's good to kind of like, have a Q&A session before we start. And of course, I'll be taking up questions in the middle also. Can we wireframe in Figma? Yes, of course we can. So the UI for the app login screen that we will be making today, we will kind of create a rough UI, wireframe for it first, and then jump onto, yeah. Uh, okay. So, okay, let's get started on the day one ka agenda. So, okay, now I understand that some of you have used Figma. So let's just only Figma is sufficient for UI UX. I mean, Figma with a basic knowledge of UI UX is uh, important, but it's not sufficient. I mean, as a designer, you keep on learning. We go to Behance, Dribble, even Pinterest. There are so many designers who are constantly uploading new and new designs, and like, every time I open Pinterest, I am just blown away with the quality of design people are putting out there. So yeah, I mean, it's a constantly evolving field, and it's like super exciting to be a part of this. So okay, let me just present my screen, and let me know if it is visible. Will this session be beneficial for mobile developers? I mean, of course, design, whoever is in the field of marketing, social, or coding, or even if at work you have to create PPTs. I mean, why not? Why not do it on, Figma? And Figma has a new feature, which is Figma slides. So, of course, you can kind of learn something from that. What is the difference between UX and X? UX is user experience, X is uh, Twitter. Not sure I understand the question. But okay, let's kind of go through some theory. I know this is not going to be everybody's favorite topic, but it is important to understand a few things before we jump onto designing. And yeah, so we are gonna understand laws of UX, and then we will kind of understand what Figma is. So there are a couple of laws to understanding UX. So whenever we are creating, because Figma is a UI UX based tool, it is important to understand what we are making before we start making it. हम क्या बना रहे हैं यहाँ पे? हम वेबसाइट बना रहे हैं. क्यों बना रहे हैं? एक बिजनेस को चाहिए. बिजनेस को क्यों चाहिए? क्योंकि उसे अपना सेल्स बढ़ानी है. सेल्स कैसे बढ़ेंगी? By putting their information or the product more efficiently, more pleasing way में. तभी जाके, so if I go to a site, maybe a Chinese site, it is heavily crowded. I get distracted. वहाँ पे इतनी सारी चीजें हो रही हैं. They are using every piece of real estate that they see on their screen. As opposed to if I go to a site like H&M, वहाँ पे everything is so clean, so neatly laid out. वहाँ पे I can only focus on a couple of things at time. So मेरा वहाँ पे effort कम लग रहा है in finding the information, and because it's so clean, so tidy, so I give more focus to each product in an individual level, right? So again, based on the business's requirement, we create a design for them. Now, the first law is aesthetic usability effect. Users often perceive aesthetically pleasing design as design that's more usable. So, इसका clear example है the IRCTC की site और Paytm का train booking module. I mean, and of course, example Apple hai samne, but that is kind of like, it's become a race now. Every other phone that is out there or a brand, they have something that is unique. But let's compare IRCTC ka experience with Paytm train booking ka experience. So, I mean, that is like, I don't think I need to say more. When something is looking nice, it is looking sleek, attractive, we tend to believe that yes, this will work better. So yeah, that is the effect of aesthetic usability effect. Now we have Fifth's law. The time to acquire a target is a function of the distance to and size of the target. Okay, so in these two designs, I have my image, banner image on top, and this blue thing is a button. Now उन्होंने मुझे इमेज दिखाया और मुझे डायरेक्टली बोला कि परचेज दिस. ऊपर मुझे यहाँ पे एक सोफा दिखा रखा है, परचेज दिस. Why would I purchase it सीधा ऊपर जाके? I need to know more about this. So is why the second approach works better, that you give me a hierarchy. मुझे पहले चीज दिखाई, उसके बारे में बताया, उसके बाद बोला कि now you're convinced, now purchase it. Okay. Then we have Hicks law. The time it takes to make a decision increases with the number and complexity of choices. So whenever we are creating, this personally happens to me all the time. Whenever I am starting a new project, what I tend to do is I create a Pinterest board for it. Now, sometimes I get carried away and I end up saving 50 pins in that particular board. And when I'm actually going to start designing, I want to look at my mood board now, but it has so many different variations of अंदर, and I can't seem to decide ki which direction do I want to go with. How do I, like, start? So is why it's the same with users. Whenever we are creating an interface, whenever we are creating an application or a website design, it is important, it is consciously as a designer our duty to make a design that is simple, that is easy, that is intuitive for them. We don't want the user to get frustrated and leave our application. For a designer, there is nothing more insulting than a user not liking their product, right? Not your boss not liking your product, the end user. Because at the end of the day, whatever we are making, be it a poster, be it a logo, be it a website, dashboard, anything that we're making, that is for the end user. It's not for us, it's not for the business. The purpose is to serve the end user. बिजनेस को पैसा मिल रहा है, हमें सैलरी मिल रही है, all of these things are byproducts. So it is very important to understand what the user wants, what the user needs, and we have to present that information to them in the best possible manner. Then we have Jacob's law. Users spend most of their time on other sites. This means that users prefer your site to work the same way as all the other sites they already know. So I usually give an example of Facebook, Twitter, or any of the social media sites that we use. So these sites have kind of established one behavior because they've been consistently using it, because they've been big players, they've been around for like 10, 15 years, and everybody's been using them, right? So help me or tell me that where is the logout button in Facebook or Twitter? On what side of the screen do you find the logout button? Can you just drop a comment in the chat for this? Right, top right. Okay. It is deep within profile, but like, where is it placed? On your screen? On what side? Right side. Yeah, of course. So everybody's saying top right. Agreed. So it is on top right. But how about in this screen, if I just give you this teeny tiny button to log out, and I don't even give it the red color to this icon that it usually has. What if I just like add this icon, little icon over here, and this is when the screen is tidy. What if in the entire Figma screen that you're seeing right now, I just add this tiny icon, which is logouts icon? Will you be able to find it? I'm not just talking about this screen right now. I'm talking about this entire screen that we are seeing in front of us right now. In this whole thing, if I just like drop chota sa logout ka button yahan pe, nobody's going to be able to find it, because this is thoda sa unreasonable. This is thoda sa stupid to put a button that is usually not used so frequently, but at the same time, it is a very crucial part of a user's journey. अगर वो कोई एक सिस्टम पे आया, एक वेबसाइट पे आया और एक डैशबोर्ड पे गया वहाँ पे, और ई कॉमर्स की साइट पे शॉपिंग करने गया है वो वहाँ पे, एंड उसने देखा सब कुछ, उसे नहीं पसंद आया, एंड दे जस्ट वांट टू मे बी डीएक्टिवेट देयर अकाउंट, डिलीट देयर अकाउंट, और लॉग आउट फ्रॉम द एप्लीकेशन. So we have to be able to give them that option, and it has to be present very clearly. And because of sites like Facebook, Instagram, and just your average e-commerce sites, लॉगआउट का ऑप्शन यूजुअली प्रोफाइल या टॉप राइट पे ही आता है. तो इफ आई मूव द प्लेसमेंट, इफ आई मूव दैट button and put it somewhere where the user is not used to seeing it, it's going to confuse the user. And the more the user gets confused, the more irritated they become, and less likely to purchase your service or your product. So the end goal is to not irritate the user. So we follow the set standards that the industry giants have set for us. Unless कुछ crazy hack मिल गया कि नहीं यहाँ पे नहीं पर यहाँ पे रख सकते हैं as a floater, do that. But again, it has to be accessible for the user. अगर उसे कहीं ढूंढ के कोई चीज कोई functionality मिल रही है, he's not gonna wait for you to kind of like give him a tour for that. He's gonna just drop off. Now, lastly, we have the Miller's Law. The average person can only keep 7 plus or minus 2 items in their working memory. Now, इसका एक बहुत अच्छा example है, which is Photoshop. If anybody has used Photoshop here, they can kind of understand the pain that इतने सारे buttons हुआ करते थे, इतने सारे icons हुआ करते थे. Usually, this was in 2 layers. There was one column, another column of icons. So what Photoshop has done over the years is merge कर दिया similar looking और similar functionality के tools को उसने एक option में डाल दिया. ये सब यहाँ से access होंगे. It is trying to simplify, declutter itself. So अपना design, whenever we are making a design, it is very important that we whatever we end up with, जो भी हमने सारा research किया, सारा उसमें typography लगाया, color set किए, buttons लगाए, prototype कर दिया, सब कर दिया उसके अंदर. We have to take a step back and we have to kind of see कि is this too cluttered? इस पेज में इस डिजाइन में क्या क्या इंफॉर्मेशन ऐसी है that I can kind of remove without the design losing its essence. So these are the kind of exercises that we should be performing whenever we are making a design. So I hope all of these laws are clear. Of course, there are more, but for the people who are just beginning their career as a designer, just keep these few things in mind whenever you make any sort of design. It doesn't just apply to UI UX; it applies to all things design. Now, any questions so far? Learning UI UX graphic design is good or one is enough? I mean, it doesn't hurt to have more skill set, because if you know graphic design, you can do UI UX. If you can do UI UX, you can definitely do graphics, because at the end, designing is just about knowing what works, what not just what colors go well, but how to compose a design, how to uh, so basically, what design is representing information in a visual manner. Now, it can be a train booking application. उसमें भी हम क्या कर रहे हैं, हम दिखा रहे हैं लोगों को कि ये ट्रेन्स हैं, ये उनके टाइम्स हैं, ये स्टेशन पे आती है, बुक कर लो. What are we trying to do when we are designing a graphic? We are telling them कि ये एक कंपनी ने नया जूता लॉन्च किया है, this is the price, खरीद लो. So practically, it is all about either service or product. These are the only things that are selling in the market, and these are the only things that we need to convince the user to go for. So at the end, it is about presenting information in a visually appealing manner. So, yep. Okay. Now let's can we have these slides? Yes, I'll share the link to these laws in the chat, or you can just at the end of this video you can just go back and listen to them. Do we need a premium plan for Figma? Yes. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna take a walkabout of Figma. So you create your account, okay? And this is what a cluttered account looks like usually. But on the left, we have recent drafts to move, all the files that are in my draft and ready to move, all projects. I have my trash. I'm going to go back up to my recent files. On the top, you see design, FigJam, slides, buzz, site, make. When we click on design, an empty screen, empty page kind of opens up. On the left, we have our quick actions. We have our file, edit. I'm not gonna go too deep into what these things do. Just a couple of them. So for example, let's go to Let's Upgrade Design, and I go to File. This one cool thing about Figma that I absolutely love is show version history. So in this free account, I can only see the version history for a limited time. So I think it's gonna go back to 3 months or something. So I can see my version history as uh, going back to April 28th. If I click on this, oh, okay, I need to upgrade to a paid account. So not a good start. But if you do have a paid account, of course, you can see the version history going as far back as you want it to be. But I personally do not have a paid account for Figma because the free account has just as many features apart from version history. The first feature I tried to show you was paid, but apart from this particular feature, all the other features on Figma are free to use. I think the only limitation is that it doesn't let you move the file from drafts to a project. I think the limit is only 3 projects. You can only create 3 projects. But I just end up keeping all of my files in draft. I just name them properly, and the pages as well. But additionally, this is like, working fine for me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just rename the file here to Let's Upgrade Design July. Okay, so I've renamed this now. You can see that there's a tag for free. When you pay for an account, I think this tag goes away. I have my file. I can search for whatever I want to here. I have my assets because I don't really have, I have these libraries already synced with my profile, is why they're showing up here. But apart from this, I have my pages. So I can add as many pages as I want. So I'm going to just rename this to workspace. I'm going to add another work for research. Then add another one for UI. So I can add as many pages as I want here. And on the right panel, you will see design and prototype because we don't really have anything working here. So I'm just going to change the color of my workspace to this shade. And I have my variables, styles, exports. I'll kind of explain about this as we move ahead in the session because some of these are dependent on the design that I'm making in front of you. Now, a couple of things that you need to understand about Figma and how to go about designing something. So you have your pointer, you have your hand tool, you have your scale tool. Okay, so how do we do this? So I have my touchpad on my laptop or I have my mouse. For me, I work with a Wacom tab and it's got a pen, and this kind of gives me old school vibes. So I like that. I have pressed the key F, which is shortcut for frame. I'm gonna just drag a frame across my display. I'm just gonna also have the comment section over here just so I don't miss out on any queries you guys may have. Not quite sure how to do this. Okay. I think it'll have to be something like this. Uh, okay, let me just go back a little bit. Can we import videos? Yes. No, sorry, not in the free version, but you can also add Lottie file animations. Figma and APK. No, it's a SaaS product, and it also has an application that you can download from App Store, Play Store. Uh, okay, I think it's a little boring for some people. Maybe they know too much about Figma. Maybe you can hold the next session. So another shortcut that I also love about Figma is that I can kind of like use the entire space. So if I minimize my design, you can kind of see that uh, the left panel and the right panel are taking up too much space. So what I do is, because I'm using Mac, so I'm gonna go command backslash. For Windows users, control backslash. So this kind of gives you more space to work with. Okay, So, okay, how do we get premium version? In order to get premium version, they have, plans listed for you. You can always upgrade from here. And they have three plans: starter, which is the current plan that I'm using, professional, and organizational. Pay monthly or annually. You get one full seat, and one full seat boleto, only one person can use that account. And for any additional seat, you will have to pay $16 monthly extra. Dev seat is something that the code thing that I told you about, that you can access the code from here. Now, apart from this, we also have a collab seat. In this, people are they use it to kind of oversee and add minor adjustments to this here and there. So yeah, these are the three variations that you can kind of use from. uh, okay. Go slow. We are beginners. Okay, yes, I will try to go slower. If you have any doubts, just please feel free to drop your comments here. Now, okay. So what are we gonna do? We have created a frame here. Now I'm gonna add some text on this. I'm gonna need my layer panel for this one. So let me see if I can reduce the width to this. I think, yeah, this is the minimum. Now I pressed on the key T, or I can add a shortcut from the bottom floating panel as well. I clicked on the white surface and I'm gonna type up hello. Now this frame has shown up in my layers panel. And inside this frame, because I typed up my text in this, it is showing up as in this layer, in this frame. If I drag it out, it is gonna come out of this frame. So what should we do along with you? I mean, yeah, this is definitely a good strategy to kind of like, whatever. Maybe you can just split your screen like I am. Maybe you can have your own Figma open up, in which you can just kind of replicate whatever I'm doing, to kind of give you a hands-on experience on, like, what these tools are actually like. Because for some people, this panel will show up on top. Do not worry, it is just an upgraded version, but the features are 99% same. It's easier than Illustrator. Yes, that is very accurate. It actually is. It does not have so many features. What is the difference between Canva and Figma? Oh my god, Canva is mainly for graphics and social designing. If you want to design websites or applications or dashboards, move on to Figma. So yes, now if you can focus here, we have our text that is not in my frame anymore. If I drag it back, it does come back into the frame. And I have these little anchors which are telling me if my text is centrally aligned or not. So this is practically what frames are for. They keep your design within the bounds of the shape of the frame. That is what a frame does. Now, coming back to the text that we have written. So now that I have selected this, I have a layer. This is called a layer. If, I make a copy of this, I'm holding down Alt and dragging and dropping it elsewhere. Okay, this is what I'm doing right now. It is gonna be so much fun if you guys know the shortcuts in Figma. So, how to get blue background? Okay, you can just select your asset, fill, select the color. Okay, it's that easy. Now, yeah, shortcuts. It's gonna be super fun to design whatever you're designing when you're working with Figma. Now, I'm just gonna give you a couple more minutes ka demo of how to use each tool, and then we'll get to the most exciting part, which is the designing part. So yeah, I have replicated this. Now for all of these, I can just kind of understand this is the position that I can adjust for this particular text container that I have. Now, what is interesting in this is, because my text is inside the frame, it is, I'm just going to increase the size a little bit. Because my text is in this frame is why it is aligning it within the frame. Is frame ka jo bhi center point hai, my text is being aligned to that. Okay, I have x coordinates, y coordinates. If I want to move it around, I can do that, doing undo, flip it horizontally, vertically, whatever I want to do, or maybe rotate it. Now for the layout, I think we don't need to cover this. We can kind of go on to this when we move into the complex part of Figma. Appearance, this is something that we use for imagery primarily, or some overlapping layers. Then we have the opacity. I can just reduce the opacity of any image, any vector, any text, anything at all. Typography, this is where we kind of change the fonts of whatever we are using. For example, enter is Figma ka by default font that is selected for you. We can always change it. We can always upload more fonts. We can download them from sites like Behance, sorry, B fonts, 1001 fonts. But if you are working on a project just for yourself and not associated with a company, you can use fonts that are not free, but you can only use them, I think, for your portfolio or stuff like that. But it is very important to understand or to read thoroughly whether the font that you're using, or even an image that you're using, is it royalty free or not, is it free for personal use or not, because we do not want to end up getting sued by somebody, right? Nobody wants that. So okay, Figma design is also called app design. I mean, Figma design is not limited to just app designs. There are so many other kind of designs that we can do from Figma. As I told you, we can create, like, a circle bouncing around this entire frame. We can create logos on Figma. We can edit images on Figma. So, but primarily it is used for UI UX design. Okay, what is a wireframe? Wireframe is basically a skeleton of the design that you're making, an empty shell without putting in colors, without putting in text, imagery. Agar if let me just quickly take you through this. If this is a graphic for me, and this is where my company logo is gonna be, this is where I'm going to put in the tagline, this is where I'm going to put the juta that I'm trying to sell through these taglines. And this is where I'm going to add its price, and maybe some background elements here and there that I can put in this. This is a wireframe to kind of help others understand that what are we trying to make. Okay, coming back to hello, I am dragging it back into the frame. We have understood how to change fonts. These are the variety of fonts, or if your font has a family of weights: regular, medium, extra bold, anything black. Now, apart from this, can you focus on Figma now? And wait, where did the message go? Okay, I think guys, so I'm just gonna ignore the comments that people are sending over and over. I'm just gonna breeze through them and find the genuine questions there are. My text box is not scaling and stretching like yours did. Okay, so yeah, this is an interesting feature that they've given. So what I do is I hold on to my text box. I just tap on this, press K, and the panel on the side opens up, and this kind of lets me kind of scale my content up, along with my design. Photoshop does this when you tap on the design and then hold this corner. Another way, and escape to kind of get out of this, another way to do is scale. It does the same thing, because if I don't have the scale feature on and I try to reshape my content, it's gonna do something like this. So when I press K, it's gonna just reshape it along with my. So let's try it with a frame. So when I have K pressed, it's doing this. When I don't have K pressed, it's doing something like this. It's not scaling up. Okay. So yeah, I hope this helps. Now coming back, we have our primary fill. I can add stroke to this design. You can see I'm just gonna increase the weight of this. Yep. And then we have certain effects that we can add. I can add drop shadow. I'm just gonna, yeah, I can add drop shadow. I can increase or add inner shadow. Let me just change the color to white, and you can kind of see what I'm talking about. You can see that there is, like, a slight fade that is happening here. I can also add layer blur. This is one of the cooler features that we can use in graphics as well. I can add background blur. Background blur is visible when we decrease the opacity and add another layer in the background. So let me just give it some color. So you can kind of see that. Let me just increase the layer blur over here, make it 200 probably, and I think I'll need to increase this a little bit. Wait, let me add some background blur to this. Okay, so yeah, it is blurring my text just a little bit. Okay, then we have noise and texture. You can add noise. If you can kind of see that this was without noise, this is with noise. Again, more for creating graphics, less for UI, but of course it's good to know whatever feature that you're working with. How have you increased the font size? So yes, this is the panel right next to your font weight. We can kind of edit whatever size we want to put in this. And yeah, so whenever our text field is bigger than the actual text, double tap on the right or the left side of it. You can align your text based on the dimensions or wherever you want it to be. So yeah, what platform is currently used in industries? Figma. How you increase the size? Yes. At the bottom, K, or just press the input field and tap on the key K. Okay. Uh, all right. Looking for some more questions. Golden ratio, that is more for designing. We'll cover it in some other session. Uh, can game designer be benefited by Figma? Of course. I mean, it has a lot of plugins that let you design 3D characters if that is something that you're looking for. Can you publish a website through Figma? You can definitely create a website through Figma and make it interactive by creating a prototype. So yeah, that is definitely something that you can do. Now let's see if there is anything that we need to cover. Now, I would want you guys to kind of uh, take a second to understand. I'll just add this into the one link, but it's good to kind of understand that what type of fonts should I be using and what colors should I be using in order to creating a product, be it an app, website, anything. So let's take an example of let's try it so that it is not boring for some people. Let's try to understand what the design for Spotify app will be. I mean, I understand that currently it is dark themed, and I think the primary color is blue. But if we had to redesign, which font will we use? Which font style? And because there are four type of fonts, we have serif, we have sans serif, script, and decorative. So we have serif. Serif is a kind of font which was used in olden times when, like, digital media did not, exist. In that time, we used fonts which had handles to them, right? Now we are more focused on sans serif fonts without handles. So without handles, because in books, in magazines or newspapers, there is a certain type of font that we're using, and we can just always bring the book, like, closer to us. Now, when it comes to digital, we have to use the minimal font or the smallest font size, so that we can input more information, because books में कितने सारे pages हैं, newspaper में कितने सारे pages हैं, and the space is so big, but it's just a tiny phone. We can only fit a certain amount of information in this. So it is important कि इतना छोटे scale पे when we are writing something, it should not be decorative, it should not have these little handles, because small scale pay it is easier to get confused, and the images, the shapes, they start to mix with each other. That is something that we don't want happen, because we do not again want to confuse the user, we do not want to irritate the user. Script fonts are something that we use to kind of like add style to our designs, right? These can be your cursive, these can be, slightly non-conventional fonts. Now decorative is something when we really want to get the user's attention. They can be bold, they can have some sort of design elements to them, and just like, super impactful. But at the same time, when we are writing fonts, these decorative and script fonts could be useful when we are using them for a headline, but not for a running text, not for a paragraph. When ever we are using the text for paragraph, it is important that for a digital setup we use sans serif, and for a non-digital, maybe a brochure or a magazine, we use serif fonts. Now, coming to color psychology. So, every color that we use is associated with a particular emotion. For example, when we think of orange, we think of what? Fanta, energetic, enthusiastic. We think of pink, we think of feminine, we think of vibrant, we think of compassion. And blue is usually associated with technology, stability, productivity. Green is for money, green is for growth, green is for nature, organic, all these things. So whenever we decide to create an identity for a brand or even a product, we have to understand that it has to resonate, it has to match with the core essence. Brand ko chahiye kya? Brand organic hai, so we can use earthy tones, we can use shades of green for this, but we should probably not use colors like purple if they're using organic products or making organic products, right? Because purple does not quite match with that. And if we are creating something for kids, for example, if like there's a clothing line just for kids bole to like 1 year to 5 years ka hi stock banate hain wo, I cannot use black for their brand identity, right? That is just silly, because like for kids we have to use pop colors, we have to use attractive colors. Okay, so again, I will add this in the one link, and it is important for everybody to kind of go through this. Okay, now let's quickly start designing our application. Okay, so now that you understand the basic functions, if you don't, I will just give you a quick recap tomorrow, or you can just rewind the session and understand whatever you have missed out on. What theme should I use for gym sessions? You tell me what sort of colors should you be using, or just maybe if you have any questions that you just need somebody's feedback on, I would urge you guys to just drop these messages in the chat, so the people you are attending the session with, they can also give you insight. Okay, all right. Now, what else do we have? Illustration is easy to design. Yes, I mean, it kind of is. Okay. Now, tapping on F. you can see that there are a couple of preset frames for me. I have frames for Android, iPhone. I have preset designs, so you don't have to remember these display sizes. I have sizes for tablet, desktop, presentation. I have sizes for watches. I mean, this is just amazing. Social media, paper, A4 का size किसको पता है? I do not remember, but thank God it's there. So coming back to the phone, this is the phone size that I usually prefer, iPhone Mini. It is 375 by 812. Now I have added this frame over here, and I want to design something for Spotify. So let me just go Spotify logo. I wrote Stopify. Okay. I'm gonna look for a Spotify logo with transparent background. Okay, this is what I have. Copy it, paste it. So it is now pasted in my frame. Reducing the size a little bit, putting it in center, and now because the original color is green, but I want to try a different approach to this. So whenever we uh, create a vector, which is an editable scalable design, uh, we get a color fill over here, but for an image we get different options. So I can change the exposure to this. Basically this is to edit whatever we are working on. And saturation, temperature, I want to move it to blue a little bit. So I'm gonna just kind of figure out how to do that. I'm not sure if it is 100% possible. I think this is more towards a little retro. Okay, anyways, let's just go with a slightly different theme, and not a drastic shift in the Spotify's logo. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that this identity is reflecting in all the elements that I'm using in the design. Right now, we are creating a can we make it glowy animation? I'm not sure what you mean with glowy animation. Okay. Yeah. So now, okay. Yes, we can use a plugin for this, but I think we have some 20 minutes to cover today's session. So let's not go into that. We'll cover that. We can, of course, rework on this tomorrow, and you guys can kind of tell me what all can be changed in this. How can we make this better? All right. So now we have Spotify, and I would want to add a one liner to this as well. Spotify, uh, your favorite music, or play your favorite. I don't know what I wrote, it's too big. I'm just gonna reduce the size to 20, or actually even 10. Play your favorite music anytime, anywhere. This can be its tagline that I also want the users to focus on. Now I want to change the font to something that is a little fun to look at. So maybe this. Okay. Uh, Play your favorite music. I think this is too long, so I'm just gonna keep it to this. I don't want the black to stand out so much, so I'm just gonna reduce or like make it a little softer. And yes, centrally align with this. Now I want to understand what the gap is in between these two elements. So I select both of them and these small circles that you are seeing and this line that you see. This line is telling me that the gap between these two elements is 13 pixels, as you can see on the right side as well. And when I hover on them again, while I have selected them, you see when I hover on these circles, these are my placement holders. I click on this, keep holding, I can shuffle positions of my elements. Okay. So this can happen in multiple elements as well. Now, what I need to do is, because this is my, this can be my login or my sign up page. in which I am letting the user know that this is kind of like a common screen for both kind of users, new users or recurring users. So the difference between both of them is slightly critical, because for an existing user, they just need to put in their password. I don't know if I think Spotify lets you validate by OTP or not. I use YouTube Music, so I'm not sure, but I'm just guessing this is a generic behavior that for a first time user, you have to complete your profile, you have to, like, they give you an option to purchase the member only plan or something. But for a registered user, it is just a one tap problem, or one tap step, that you just verify yourself via OTP or password, and you're just like into the application. So over here, I am going to provide two buttons to the user. One is going to be okay, so the width that I've used right now is 264, which seems less, so let's go with 280, and 48 as the height of my button. Now I want this primary button to match my color theme. So I press on I, go to my image, and select this color. Now I want the corners to be curved for this. So I go to appearances and I go to just as many ones. This button looks a little big to me, but let's see what it looks like in a prototype mode. So I select this design, go to prototype, actually wait, go outside, tap outside, device 13 mini, select this design and play. So it's gonna show me what my design looks like in a real device. This button does not look too big. Maybe I can just reduce the width, the height by 246. Yeah, this makes sense. Now I'm just gonna copy this particular button, this particular text. Now you can see that my text has gone behind the button. So what I can do is I can just bring it up, or command and move with the square brackets. It can kind of change positions. You can see on the left side that it is changing position. It is changing the number of layers that it was behind or above. So yeah, but this text is too small for a button, so I'm just gonna increase it up to 14. If you're not sure what font size or button size you should be using, try doing what I did in the beginning of my career, which is taking screenshots of other applications and putting them on my Photoshop or Figma file, and kind of matching whatever they are doing. So it kind of gave me a fair idea of, like, when we can play around with bigger sizes or smaller sizes. But for a pretty standard approach, 14 can be your button size, 10 or 11 can be your running text, अगर 10-12 लाइन के अंदर कुछ लिखा हुआ है, तो not occupying too much space, and maybe somewhere between 20 to 32 for a title of whatever message you're sharing. This can be login, and I would want it to be thoda sa more impactful, so login in semi bold. Now I'm holding these two layers down. I can either press Ctrl G to group them together so that they belong together, or better yet, I can just Shift A to add a auto layout. Now, auto layout is something that we will cover tomorrow in tomorrow's session. But just to give you an idea, again, shortcut is, always a better approach. Otherwise, you can just hold these two layers, right click, group selection, or right click, add auto layout. Okay. So yeah, the more you explore Figma, the more you will kind of just get like used to these shortcuts. And yeah, once you're like fluent in shortcuts, there's nothing better than that. So I have replicated it by holding down Alt for Windows and Option for Mac. Now I have two of these. So what I'm going to do is I have selected this particular layer. So there are multiple approaches to selecting a layer. Even when it is inside a group, I can go to this group and select this layer. I can tap and double tap to reach this layer, or I can hold down command or control and directly tap on this layer. Now this time, because this button was for login, this is for register. I want this button to just be an outline. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy the fill color, change this into white, add a stroke of this color, maybe of 1.5 thickness. Now my text is not visible, so I'm just gonna go and add a shade of black to this. So now that my two buttons are very evident and they do look like they belong together with my design, right? So now I also want to have some sort of messaging for my user, right? I can't just let the people reach this page. And for the people who don't really know what Spotify is, I would want to communicate to them that yes, this is where all of your favorite artists are, this is where you can like listen to endless music, right? Something like that. Another thing to remember is when we are working on a design, we will need to have placeholder content. For example, right now, I need to have some content here, but I'm not a content writer. I do not know what to write. So that is where we resort to tools like Perplexity, ChatGPT, stuff like that, right? And if we do not want to use that, there is a site called or dummy content that designers throughout the globe use, lorem ipsum. But I think we have kind of like moved away from that time where we have to resort to lorem ipsum. It is better to put contextual messaging in your design so that anybody who is seeing it, be it your manager, junior, or your peer, or even an end user, they understand what is happening in this page. लॉरम एप्सम से कुछ समझ नहीं आएगा. यहाँ पे अगर लिख दिया मैंने कि this is a placeholder for title, क्या समझ में आ रहा है इससे? It's not really setting the context for me in this particular screen, right? So यहाँ पे okay, all your favorite artists or artists under one roof. Okay, and now I copy it because I want to add a subtitle to this, moving it to regular, and I'm just gonna quickly add something here. From Metallica to Taylor Swift, all your music can be found in this app. This is the message that I want to share with the user. Now I can see that the gap between these two lines is a little less and it might not be super readable when we view it in the prototype mode. It is like a little too close to each other. So I'm just gonna select this and increase line height. Currently it was 15. I am making it 20, bringing it to medium, and let me just see what the color was that we used. It was 383838. So I'm just gonna select both of these, change the color fill to this. You might not notice what the difference this made, but let me just give you an idea. So there is no hard and fast rule that we should not use perfect white or perfect black, but we have so many colors that are out there for our use. So why stick to basic black and white, right? We can just play around with the shades a little bit. And I also want to increase the size of this title. So yeah, I think 16 works. Yep. So this is my introductory message for the user. Now this area looks a little empty to me right now. So what I am going to do is I'm going to maybe add some sort of graphics to this, and to kind of make it engaging, to kind of make it seem like that this is part of an application that has music for me, right? I have pressed on O or from the access panel at the bottom, I can select an eclipse. And okay, now placing it at the center of my screen, selecting the layers at the bottom and the top. Once I've selected more than one layer, or I think more than one, more than two layers, it kind of gives me an option to bifurcate the spacing between them evenly. So selecting them, and another approach to this is in the position panel, distribute vertical spacing. Done. Now I want to centrally align this. Okay, it's perfectly aligned. How to copy paste the text? You can just select the text, all of it, copy, and paste it elsewhere. For outline, use the stroke. Okay, I'm just gonna quickly glance through the questions. Uh, how do you use appearance and what is it used for? Yes, that is exactly what we were coming at now. So I have increased the size of the circle. I am adding uh, the white color and adding some drop shadow to this also. But this time, instead of a black shadow, I want to use something around the brand color that I have, but maybe in a darker shade. I've marked the X and Y axis 0. This is my blur radius. I'm going to make it 100. It looks bad right now, but just bear with me. Reducing the color's opacity to 10. I think this went a little too much. Yeah. Okay, I think this looks neat. What I'm trying to do is I ideally want to add a couple of images of artists around this to make it seem like, and this can be interchangeable. This can be changed based on the region that you're living in. If you're in USA or India or any other place, of course there are local regional artists, and this information can change based on that. I'm just gonna remove all of this, and yep, so this can be the circle around which all these images of artists are rotating. So all right, now adding another square here, and thank you, I'm just going to replicate these boxes around this circle. We can kind of see if we need to place them haphazardly, or we need to kind of like, place them in a particular manner. That is something that we can kind of work with later on. And some of these images can be bigger, some of these can be smaller. That kind of depends on us, what the layout we want it to be. Now, okay, coming back to our original setup. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna look up some artists now. A.R. Rahman. Just gonna copy one of these images of this artist. Copy. Selecting the shape, be it a circle or a square, and selecting it and paste. It has dropped in this, right? Now I am going to select Kanye West. Okay. I'm just gonna drop images of a couple of singers over here, and we can kind of reshape the sizes. Oh. So whenever we are dealing with imagery, it is important to use the right size. So because these images that I'm using right now, they are placed in the app at a very smaller scale, right? So I don't really need to worry about the quality of the image as much. But of course, when some of these images are pixelated. So that is something that should not happen whenever we are copying an image. For example, if I'm copying this image, it is better to open this image, copy it then, and then simply pasting it here, because now this is not as pixelated. Uh, okay, who are some more artists? James Bay. Okay, I'm just gonna add two more images of the same guy because I can't think of more. Okay, I think there's just one left. This looks like slightly different. Okay, yeah. Heading back to our channel. Yes. So now I have added a couple of images, and now we can kind of see how to place them, because we are working with an Indian audience. We can also reshape these dimensions. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that if I started with a square, I have to stick with a square. I can make it a circle, I can make it a rectangle. I mean, that is like literally, up to me. But of course, my image will have to shift along with that. For example, this was a square, right? When I'm adjusting its image, its width, the image is moving with it. But that is because this image was rectangular in size. It had reshaped itself to fit into this square shape. But in this case, the image is getting, a little cut from the top. So what I'll do in this case is I'll just tap on this, crop, shift, holding down shift while I'm bringing the image down. Okay, something like this. So that at least the subject of my image is visible clearly. Now I'm just gonna quickly reposition them, and let's see what this looks like in the end. Maybe this image can be a little bit like this. Okay, so yeah, I still have my circle in the background. Let's see if it's super visible or has it kind of like faded because of all the imagery around this. So I'm just gonna, I think I will need to increase the color or make it a little deeper so that it's visible. 40%. Let's see if it is visible. Let's go to the prototype mode, selecting my frame, and yeah, it's not super visible. But what I can do is maybe I can make a couple of variations of this and put it here and there. Something like this. I think it's gonna be visible now, and maybe at some point in our 3D session we can have this animated in the background also. But as of now, I'm just gonna remove this because I think these images itself, they are bringing enough color and enough impact to our design. I'm just gonna quickly move this up so that there is enough space. There is like, breathable space in my design. Now I want to align these three things evenly. So I'm selecting them, making sure that they are centrally aligned and vertically as well. Shift Alt to put them in auto layout. So now I know that the common gap between them is 55, reducing it to 54 because OCD. And okay, yeah. So yeah, I think this does pass for a login page of a music app, right? Uh, all right. So if you guys have any questions, just feel free to drop a comment in the video and right under the video. And yep, any questions that you may have, anything that you feel that we could have done differently in this particular design, if you have made a version of your own that you want us to verify, do that. How to use background blur? Yes, I will just be going through all of your comments to kind of understand what can be changed in tomorrow and the after's agenda. And if you have any queries, we will address them tomorrow. All right, I hope this session helped today, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you.